Okay, so here we are out in the breeding shed. This is Steel. And there's a total absence of Kelly. There was an egg laid out in the big flight, and I thought maybe it was Kelly, because she's the only hen I know of that lays eggs at random. But I think not, because she's been in here for 5 or 6 days now, and she hasn't laid a second egg. But she is developing an egg bump, and I really hope that these two are breeding. Nothing yet. She is developing an egg bump, so I'm hoping they're breeding, although I don't know that I'm seeing a lot there. I need to sit down and watch for a while. He does have the gimp, and the one thing I worry about is how hard. He has one good leg and one that's a gimp leg, and how hard is that going to make it for him to breed, because he has to stand on the hen's back to do it. But a large part of their balance when they do that is they wrap their wings around the hen to hold themselves up. So he may be okay. We'll just have to see. These two are taking their sweet time. She's actually very white. She looks like she was a little pink when I brought her out here, and now she's looking kind of white again. Let's see, how close is that? I should be seeing some activity, because they've been out here for, I think, like 5 or 6 days, maybe a week. Oh, there she goes. See her looking in that box? She's thinking about it. So this is where the disastrous baby was, along with Gizmo, and I pulled them and put them inside, because I'm hoping that being around adult birds will help. And I just brought these guys in today. This is Sparky and Lilith. So, I was looking at the records on Lilith, and Lilith has actually hatched 2 chicks. And neither one of them made it through the first 24 hours. And that makes me begin to wonder, is she not a good parent? Maybe she just doesn't get the first 24 hours or something. I don't know where she came from or what her history is or anything. I don't know how many times she's been bred, but I do know that the 2 times that she had viable eggs to sit on, she didn't manage to keep the babies alive. So I've been thinking about what I might do with that. I mean, one option would be to foster out her eggs to another bird, but I have a whole lot of birds in here that I really want babies from. So, and since there's a 3-chick limit, that's not really going to help me, you know? So what I'm thinking is that first 24 hours is crucial, and my best mothers do tend to know what to do with a chick in that first 24 hours. But maybe Lilith just doesn't. So my thought is I'm going to let her keep her own eggs, or maybe I'll trade one out just to make sure we get one. And then when she hatches a chick, I'm going to take it, give it a few drops of electrolyte solution, and give it to another hen for the first 24 hours. And let her get it started. One of my experienced mothers, like Rainbow or Kelly, or Fluffy. No, I don't want to mess with Fluffy. So I give it to one of my more experienced hens for 24 hours and then drop it back in her nest and see if she does a better job. Because when the babies first hatch, they're really kind of deflated. They're very, the hens have to actually feed them and kind of pump them up with fluids and stuff to get them going. And I don't think she's responsive enough to the inert, newly hatched chick to get it going. But maybe once they're going, 24 hours into it, if they've been fed overnight and are full of fluids, they start yelling for attention. And that might be what she needs to pick up the ball and start running with it. So I'm going to try, because I'm afraid, because it's just occurred to me, wow, if she lost 2 live chicks on 2 separate occasions, maybe she's not good at this. So we'll see what happens. But I'm going to do something proactive. I may trade out one of her fertile eggs to a more experienced hen, and then make sure that I, when the chicks first hatch, intervene in that first 24 hours and take it from her and then give it back when it's thriving, once it's up and running. So anyway, but they just got put in here. As far as it's the middle of June, that means that these birds, I just put her in here, they're not going to have a chick hatch until the middle of July. We are definitely going to be breeding in the hot season, but things are happening here. I have a bunch of hens that say it's okay, we're breeding right now, so we're going to go for it and see what happens. Here is Limey, and here's Luscious is hidden in the box. Let's see what she's doing. Hi, Lush. How you doing? Oh, she's sitting. I wonder if she's got an egg under there. Yes, she does. You see that? Okay. So that's interesting. So Luscious's history, she laid 2 sets of eggs with 2 infertile males. She got egg bound the first time and had trouble laying the first egg the second time, and she stopped laying after 3 eggs. Now she's with Limey, who I know is fertile in the biggest possible way, and she's the first to lay. I have a feeling the more I do this that if you match a hen with an infertile male, these 2 are getting ready to breed, she becomes egg bound because her body wants to hold on to the egg until it's fertilized so it doesn't form right. This is Razzle and Remington, and Remington has a gigantic egg bump, and I just saw them getting ready to breed, and that's a good thing. There's Sprite, and his Fluffy is clearly in the box, and that's a good thing. Oh, look, and there's Gidget, and this is the first time I've caught her in the box, too. And there is Bubba, and just above, this is the cage that Kobe and Coco were in. I put a new box on there, and this is my new male Bond, who looks very like Kobe, but he's big. Kobe's kind of little. This guy's big, and he's got a lot of feather. And the minute I put little Miss Breezy in there with him, she said, "Oh no, I don't like you." Now, Breezy has rejected 2 different males after breeding successfully with Bubba. But Bubba's a dominant male, and she likes her dominant male, and she doesn't want to give him up. But I had to move him on. So, and realizing that she wasn't going to take just anybody, I went out and got her this guy. And he's big, and he's lively, he flies, he's got a little age on him, he's a 2017, and the minute I put him in here with her, he went straight into, we're doing this, baby. He chased her around the cage and pulled on her wingtail and tail feathers and just basically said, "I am not taking no for an answer." Her first act was to go sit down by the edge of the cage right over here and look down, because she knew Bubba was down there, and look down at that nest box and call to him. And Bond here just said, "Nope, not going to happen." So if you look, she is now sitting on the perch and no longer being obsessive, because apparently this girl likes her boys big and dominant, because this guy just said, "Nope, we're not going to do that. That's a nest box, you're a hen, I'm a cock, we're going to do this." And he's just, you see those fluffed up feathers and the calling and the carrying on. He's been out in the boy's flight cage for the last couple of weeks, and he showed me out there that he doesn't put up with any death either. All those terrible little babies started trying to pull on his feathers, and he let them know who was the boss very quickly. So apparently, because I totally see she's looking at him, she's watching him, she's paying attention to his calls. She's decided that this one's worth looking at. And this is a lovely pair. So here's another thing that I'm doing. I always wanted to breed Breezy here, who is a dark, I think she's got a dark factor. I also suspect she's a golden face. The reason she's called Breezy is because she has a wash of blue, and she's kind of a seafoam green color. So her name is Sea Breezy. So I always wanted to breed her to a cobalt male, because there's every possibility that this strange look that she's got is actually a violet factor on a green bird. So if I breed her to a cobalt, he's a cobalt, he's not a violet, he's a cobalt. If I breed her to him and they come up with a violet baby, then I'll know she's got a violet factor, because he doesn't. Violet's factors show. Either they have it or they don't, except on green birds, of course. So this is going to be interesting. Maybe everybody's told me that she's a golden face, but maybe like the difference between a gray wing and a dilute, maybe a golden face, quote unquote, is just a green bird with a violet factor. It's just, you know, it's so hard to tell. So anyway, I'm very encouraged. These two have been together for just a few hours now, and she is talking to him and paying attention to what's going on, because he's not going to give her any other choice. Yes, it's time, you two. The other thing that I found very interesting is I was looking in the boys' flight, and Bubba's son with Breezy, his Spangle baby boy, who looked exactly like Breezy ever since the beginning. And just in the last few days, I walked out there and looked, and all of a sudden, he looks exactly like Razzle. I've always been fairly certain that Bubba and Razzle were brothers, and it's kind of interesting for Bubba's son to all of a sudden break out into looking like Uncle Razzle. So it kind of confirms my suspicion. Yeah, she's got a giant egg bump. She's going to lay any minute. And I would say these two are carrying on in a very happy way as well. So, breeding in the middle of summer. We'll see how it goes.